In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do raw edge applique and reverse applique with the funnest, grooviest templates. Isn't this going to be a blast? You know it. For today's project, I'm going to be using this fat quarter collection from Benartex Fabrics. The collection is called Find Your Way by Swenson Ruble. It looks super cute and super retro, so I am so ready to open this up. So you can get this bundle of word templates, Livin', Groovy, and my favorite, Love, all on my website. And I'm just going to take this quick minute to remind you, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks, buddy. Let's talk about assembling our templates first. So as you can see, there are a bunch of different numbers on these, and that is to help you assemble them in a correct order. So I've got 1, 2, I'm going to match my 1 with my 1, and then down here I will match 3 and 4 as so, and trimming along said lines. I've got my live-in template all set, which is easy peasy, as you can see. Because I'm going to be doing reverse applique for this one, I have tried to not put any tape where I might sew, which would be along the lines. So little suggestion when you are choosing fabrics for an applique, you want to focus on contrast. The worst thing that would be is if you do all this work and you've chosen, say, 2 low volumes, although beautiful, you want some more contrast so you can really see those letters and get some definition. Cool? Cool. I know you got this. Okay, so I have picked out my fabrics. All of these templates will easily fit in a fat quarter. And with the rest of my fat quarters, I'm potentially going to use these as some sort of backing. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to make with these, but these would easily be a cool pillow or a back patch or a purse, like so many options. So I'm thinking more pillows for these guys, and these would make really lovely backings and fun stuff. So let's get sewing, shall we? All right, before I go upstairs to my sewing space, you might have noticed I'm in a different space. Anyways, I'm up and downstairs. I'm literally taking over my house. That's the gist of it. But before I go up, I'm going to give all of my fabric a good press with some starch. Get all those wrinkles out. And I'm going to just trim this down a little bit so that it doesn't have all this extra negative space. I don't need that to be under my needle. This is a good time to do a hydration check. Yes, it is. We need our water. We need our moisturizer. It's winter. My hands, oh my gosh, terrible. This is my favorite moisturizer, and it's for horses. It's called the Hoof Maker. You can literally find it in the pet section of like Walmart. L-F-E-I-N, as Matthew McConaughey would say. All right, I've trimmed it down. What I've done is put the fabric that is going to be the letters behind the background fabric. Right, so they're just 2 fabrics, my 2 fabrics, one on top of the other. If you wanted to, it is not necessarily, not necessary. And for me, if it's not necessary, I'm not going to do it, but you might want to do it. You can baste around the perimeter of your 2 fabrics just so that they're one piece of fabric, but you don't have to. And then what we're going to do, once I have this in position, I'm going to pin it, and I'm literally going to sew along the lines. That's it. That's all I'm gonna do. Cool beans. We're pinned. All right, so here is the love one. We're ready to roll. So before we get going with the sewing, we need to do a few things to our machine and get ourselves optimized here. Yeah? Yeah. First thing we're gonna do is drop our stitch length. 1.8 is probably ideal. I can go a little bit lower, so I'm gonna do 1.6, but you do want it to be nice and little and tight. I've also got my free motion quilting foot on my machine. You can drop your feed dogs if you like, especially if you are using thicker fabrics. But considering as I'm using these beautiful Benartex fabrics, I'm actually gonna leave my feed dogs up just to give me a little bit more control when I'm sewing. But you do you, man, you do you. I also like to use my quilting gloves. If you don't have quilting gloves, just go get some clean gardening gloves. They got the little grippies and they'll be helpful, all right? When you're starting, you do want to do a little back stitch just to seal that in. We're not worrying about perfection here. We're quite simply just sewing the thing together, okay? Because Lord knows mine is not going to be perfect. But yeah, man, take your time as I speed up. All right, I've got all of my stitching done. So now I need to remove the paper. And really, we're just gonna rip it off very gently. You might need your seam ripper for this. It can be very helpful. And this is why having that short stitch length is very helpful, because it's going to be, well, hopefully pretty easy to remove. This is very satisfying. And you're just going to like pry the layers apart and cut that top layer open. Peekaboo. I'll see you. All right, and then we're just gonna keep on going. All right, all right, all right. Okay, we got it all cut out. It looks so cool. So, I mean, you could leave it like this. The seams are a little rough, but I mean, that's fine. You could totally leave it like this. Or you can go around the edges with a finishing seam, like a satin stitch or something of the sort. Or you could even use some trim. Chenille it, I think, would look super cool around here. Whatever you want to do, man. Live in. All right, I have gone around with a satin stitch. I'm not that great at it. I might actually try this again in a different stitch. But what you can do is cut off some of the excess of this fabric that's behind. You could also alternatively cut a piece more to size of the template. My only thing to say about that is to give yourself a lot of like seam allowance, essentially, because you, well, it would really suck if you did all this work and there wasn't enough fabric behind there, right? So just make sure you have enough fabric, please. When you guys make this, you have to tag me because I need to see all the things. Like, holy crap, how cool is this? I love the love. I'm loving the love. Oh gosh, sorry for the singing again. Okay, so what I've done here is the same process, but instead of my satin stitch, I used chenille it in tangerine, and this looks cool AF, doesn't it? Oh my gosh, love and love. All right, guys, let's move on to raw edge applique. Okay, so here is our template, and a very important thing to note is if you are doing raw edge applique with letters, you need to reverse the pattern. So we're quite simply going to flip it over. Okay, I've already gone ahead and traced the letters so that they are easier to see. And then I am going to take my heat and bond. We don't quite have enough, but the cool thing is I can use this little scrap and add it on. I can like tape it together and add it on and use my little bits. Trace this out. Stay you. I'm gonna tape, trace, and not cut it out by the letters, but just sort of cut it to size and trim it, and then we'll be ready to roll. Okay, it's all traced out. I've trimmed it down a little bit. It does not have to be perfect by any means. This is not an art show. All right, time to move on over to the pressing station. A couple of very important things here. My fabric is reversed as well. Okay, so this is the wrong side of the fabric that we are going to be putting down here. The bumpy side is down. We've traced on the smooth paper side. Okay, all those checks, then you're ready to go. Ask me how I know to double check this. I'm going to just press this. This is fine. However, once I get over here to where I've used a little bit of tape, I am going to want to use some parchment paper or pressing paper, something to protect my iron because that tape is, it's gonna melt. All right, and don't forget, friends, this paper is hot. All right, let it cool before you touch it. Ask me how I know that one too. Groovy. Dun, 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 dun. Now I'm going to cut along the lines. It's gonna take me a hot minute, so I'll be back. Ooh, it's so cool. Oh, I'm just so excited about it. Okay, it's all cut out. And now we need to peel our paper off ever so gently. And now that bumpy Fusible is now smooth on the wrong side of our fabric. Okay, and it's ready to press. So I'm just gonna peel all of these, which I'm gonna find like incredibly satisfying. I love this kind of thing. Ah, right? That was a good one. Okay, and then we will head on over to the pressing station. This is just so cool. Okay, so I have placed my letters on. You can reference the template of how they are sort of set, or put them how you want, man. Press to set these in place and go really slow and make sure all of the edges are down. Once I am done pressing, I will go back upstairs, get my steps in, and sew this down. So I think I'm just gonna do a regular top stitch, but like a blanket stitch would look really lovely. Whatever you want to do, man. The chenille would look super cute on this too. There we go. Ah! It is groovy, isn't it? Ah! Yeah, just sew this bibba down however you want. I'm just using a regular stitch length, and then it'll be all set to make into a purse, a quilt block, cool pillow. I mean, the possibilities are just endless. Here's the Groovy, all sewn on. That is our raw edge applique. I think this might be my favorite. The chenille just looks so cool. This is reverse applique. Livin, livin'. So all 3 templates in 2 different methods of applique, reverse and raw edge. And if there's something that you prefer your own method, you do you, always, okay? And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you give both of these techniques a try and enjoy the templates. Please tag me with your makes. I would love to see and share what you are doing. And until next time, keep creative and stay cool.